So, Ludo, the next question is for you. What methods have been shown to be the most effective at increasing equity and access in your experience?
Yeah, so that's something that we thought deeply at I would say, the genesis of the company, and very much starting with the price point. And I think that's something that Carlos and I have in common. I think the first thing you can do to make your program more accessible is to make it more affordable. And so, and that also something that's going to drive so many more decisions in how you run your business, that it's going to actually have an impact on other dimensions. So let me give you a really simple example. Because the program is so affordable, you're not trying to hire or recruit the same number of students, right? Because when someone sells a 15,000 coding bootcamp, they need 10 students to keep the company afloat. When you sell this kind of the same product for 10 times less, well, you need 10 times more students to keep the company afloat. And so that leads to the next point, which is you want to be everywhere. And so that kind of touches on my point on, you want to be where the students are, to
Yeah.
Carlos' point. You don't want to be in just 13 cities, because then you really reduce your market. And so because you're less expensive, way more affordable, we actually then open in 35 cities. And with the pandemic, we are now in 180. And so that kind of gives you an idea of how really the fundamental decision of thinking about the business in a way that's going to make it affordable and accessible, period, with the cost, then makes it available to everyone from a location standpoint. And then with that, we've really added also another dimension for us, which was also key. And it was a decision to make our programs available part-time. And actually, we started with part-time, and we're still only offering part-time programs. And for us, that's important because when you put yourself in the shoes of someone who wants to change careers, many of them actually have a job that they don't like, but that's the job that pays the bill. And so why would you want to present that person with a big risk of saying, hey, you're going to have to make a bet now. You're going to quit your job that pays the bill. You're going to go on that 5, 6 months, a year journey, and then we'll bet with you that you're going to get a job after that to resume your life. That's a huge risk for anyone thinking about changing careers. And so offering part-time programs was for us the only way to kind of address that issue. And so that's another dimension for me that's really key. When you think about helping people change careers, in my mind, it cannot be asking them to put their life on hold, to put their livelihood on hold. You have to have affordable ways and flexible ways for them to learn.
Right. And I think adding to that, sort of the point you had made earlier around the areas of, people feeling like, oh, maybe I'm too old, or maybe everyone in this industry doesn't look like me,
Yeah,
is going to make that risk feel even higher. So even
that's right.
somebody who will be very successful, if they're asked to take that risk, and they already are feeling like when they look at the industry, they don't see themselves on the other side, is going to be less
Yeah.
likely. So I think that makes a lot of sense, and certainly does promote diversity, because you're de-risking the decision for people.
That's right. It's all about de-risking the decision. I
Right.
think that's a great way to put it.
Carlos, would you like to add anything to this?
Yeah, I love what Ludo said with regards to part-time and more flexibility with payments. I think it refers to the concept of lifelong learning, which I
Yeah,
deeply care about. Like, I never understood why we are supposed to study full-time until our mid-20s, and then we stop, and then we work full-time until we retire. What if you can have it all, right? What if you can continue with your job, keep up with your family life, with your friendships, with your own me time, and also invest some of your time into growing your career? Like, you can switch your career at any point in your life. It's not just for young people, right? To what you were saying, Angela. And I think this type of programs give the user the flexibility and the power to do it. Because worst case scenario, let's say you try, you enroll in a part-time program and it's not for you. Well, that's okay too. Like, you didn't commit 4 years full time, put your life on hold to hope for the best. And then, to mention the huge loan that you probably have to keep paying for the next 15 years of your life. So that makes me, angry in a way. And that was the proposal that was the solution that I was trying to create with product school, because I went to business school too. And I got it was a 2-year full-time program. And you have no idea
Right.
how many people there were saying, you know what, I want to be a product manager. And like there wasn't a single class in a 2-year program about product management or digital marketing or like a lot of the skills
Right.
that are needed. And like there must be an alternative. Like I can see how traditional education can be good fit for some people at certain points in their life, but I don't think it's a one size fit all solution for everybody.
Right. Right. And such a risky, I think whenever I hear critiques of the boot camp industry, I always push back on sort of, sure, not everyone's going to go to a boot camp and be successful on the other side, but not everyone goes to a 4-year program or a master's program and is successful on the other side. And at least the benefit of a boot camp is that you invested far less time and money to get there.
Yeah.
And it was a very specialized education. So one of the issues I think with the more kind of generalized education is you could come out and still not know what you want to do with it because no one directed you towards anything. At least you come out of a boot camp and there's some, there's sort of some career paths to choose from. But I think these are really great points. And I think what you guys are doing and the scale that you've both been able to get to and from the perspectives you're at are really important to kind of the future of higher ed and also the future of how we get people into the technology field, which is obviously a very, very fast growing field with a lot of opportunity.